Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Healing Channel. Today, I will be talking to Mr. Carlos Watkins. He is a native of Detroit and has traveled the U.S. and abroad as a truck driver and military spouse. He is a dedicated husband, son, uncle, friend, new dad, and much more. He has had ups and downs and many other struggles that Black men face and has prevailed through them all. He is a calm soul, loyal beyond measures, and someone I know to have knowledge and insight that many more need to hear. Not to mention, he is a sports fanatic like myself, and someone I will go to bounce sports statistics and analysis across to see where our thoughts lie. So, welcome to my brother-in-law, whom I call Loke. First of all, I want to thank you for allowing me to interview you for my podcast. I really appreciate it.
Oh, okay. No problem. You know I love you, girl.
For those of you who don't know, this is Carlos Watkins, aka Loke is what I call him. And he's just an awesome person. Anytime I need some information or some details on life situations and things that I might be going through, he's always going to give me a straight no chaser response. He's always had my best interest at hand, and I love the fact that he's always validated me and made me feel like my opinions, my thoughts, and different things that I go through is worthy. So for that, I love you and I thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
So this month is Women's History Month, and I know that you have a lot of women in your life, and I think that for me, I think that it grounded you to respond to me and to accept me in a way that for me, I've had issues with other guys accepting me, validating my thoughts and opinions on things that some men feel like I either shouldn't have one on, or maybe I don't know enough about whether it comes to repairs or sports and things. And you've always given, like literally from day one, you've always given me that. And I've never felt slighted or some snarky undertone about my knowledge and whatnot. And I just want to know, like, for you, where do you feel like you get your grounding from in how you think and how you process things and how you go about life? Because I know you as a cool, calm person.
My parents, number one. You know, I just had some. You know, God just gave me something special all my life. Even you. You know, your sister who was my wife. My mother, who was she one of a kind.
And she's a Sagittarius, by the way. I love that.
Sagittarius, oh my God.
Don't, oh my God, a Saggies.
Well, that's one of the reasons why I always felt like I already met you when I met you. You know, because I had a Sag mom. My mom is an incredible woman. There's so many different ways, just I can't count the ways, just all kind of ways. And my dad, just if I could be half the man he was. I mean, he was just. I mean, even to this day, people that knew him, they always talk about him in just a high regard, and he was that type of guy. I mean, it was like, I was like, it was like 4-1 on, kids in my neighborhood, especially, who had both their parents. And I was one of the ones that was blessed to have both my parents. So my father wasn't just a father to me and my brothers and sisters. He was a father to a lot of my friends too.
Yes.
You know, a lot of my friends was able to look up to him. I mean, I seen so many of them, and he was just a straight-laced dude. He wasn't no dude that was out in the street, nothing like that. He was a country boy, and I can count the number of times I saw him take a drink on one hand.
Mm-hmm.
My mom, they just good folks.
I love that. One of the
Just
things that I
yeah,
compare with you and the person I interviewed last week, one, you're both from Detroit. I love that. So my roots are so deep in Detroit, having family from there anyway, and my older
right,
siblings born there. But you both came from a mother-father household, and you guys are both remarkable in my life. And we were talking about something that you just brought up, how important it was or how prevalent it was for not just you but for your community, that your mother and your father were that person. And that's something that she had. I mean, for both of you, like, I know that her mother and father, and they've passed on, but they were important to me because at times during like my football career, we would go over her house and her parents were the ones throwing the parties. I really love that because I can think back on my own young adulthood to where that helped me in my life as a parent, sometimes being considered the community mom or the community auntie is what a lot of the students and my kids' friends call me.
right, right.
Healing is not a momentary process, it's a journey.
Yeah, I feel like we are, and a lot of people don't, especially nowadays, the tone of life is really, it seems like for people to just be selfish, only
Mm-hmm.
care about yourself, look out for you, this and that, this and that. But,
Mm-hmm.
you know, where I grew up, community is what made everybody strong.
Yes, yes.
The people in my neighborhood, a lot of them weren't perfect,
Mm-hmm.
myself included. My parents, even though they was good people, wasn't
Mm-hmm.
perfect,
Right.
but we gave each other strength. We looked out for each other. We tried to lift each other up. So that's like, to me, almost like your civic duty in a way.
Yes, yes,
If
yes.
you're not doing that, you're missing out.
Yep. And what are you doing?
You're missing
Not to
out
say
on
that
life.
you have to, but at the same time, if you feel like it's something you can give and help others grow, why not want to? Even if you can't, to want to means a lot more than for you to have the capabilities and not even desire to.
Yeah, and that we humans, so things like that, you know, a lot of things I know growing up for myself, I can say a lot of things I didn't know.
Right.
It took me time to really realize some things. So I get that part about human beings
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
So that's why, I feel like my parents was like that and they taught me that
Mm-hmm.
was empathy.
Yes. Yes.
Having empathy for people because we just not perfect.
Right. Right.
And sometimes everybody not there. They ain't there yet.
Yes, that's true.
So yeah, so sometimes you gotta be forgiving and give people a pass,
Yeah.
and just let them rock out, and hopefully they'll get there. If they don't, that's their business.
Yes, yep. That's true. So on
But
that, let me ask you two women in your life that you admire and why.
just period.
Yeah,
Wow.
two women for you, your life. Two women that are important to you or have you admire in your life and why.
Well, I mean, it's a lot of women.
I believe
Wow.
you. You have to give me it.
Well,
You have to give me
I'm
two.
I'm gonna have to say my mother,
Uh-huh.
and my wife.
Okay. Yep.
My mother because she's a mom. She was just a flat out mom.
Yes.
If the police come to her house and to ask her take this to your son, she ain't gonna take him.
Right.
You know what I'm
She's a
saying?
real one. Yes.
She rocking with me.
Right.
Period. That's the kind of mom I got, and
Mm-hmm.
I love and appreciate her for that.
Yes.
And my wife the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Same exact thing. But
Mm-hmm.
just the love, and then just really, really highly intelligent women too. My mom
Mm-hmm.
is like a really, really deep woman. Um, just a lot of smarts about herself, just in a lot of different ways. I ain't just smarts in just life, period.
Right.
And my wife, just her smarts also. Her discipline, her tenacity. That you got the same thing. Just really outgoing and just incredibly bright. Them the two women that I appreciate the most in my life. That mean a lot to me.
Right. So on that, let me ask you, talking about marriage, so what have you done to make your marriage work, and what do you think men could do better in a marriage to make it work? Because you've been married a long time. How long have you been married?
I've been married 24 years.
24 years. Y'all hear that? 24 years. So this man has a lot of knowledge when it comes to marriage. And so that's why if I feel like it's important for me to get some insight that can help other people, when they're looking at either getting married or if they're going through difficulties, to help them along the way.
Well, number one, I would say is that a man has to play the role of a man. And what that means is sometimes taking it like a man. I would say when you a man, you have to be able to bear the brunt of life. Things you have to go through, different obstacles, trials and tribulations. You got to be able to stand up to all of that, no matter what it is. You just got to be able to take it like a man. It's gonna be some, but the thing that helped me out more than anything was my faith.
Okay.
I'll just be honest with you. I owe everything to my faith.
Okay.
Everything. It's not nothing. And I done did all kind of stuff I thought I would never do. And I owe it all to my Creator.
Okay.
He blessed me so much and gave me so many people, and put so many people in my life to, make my life extraordinary.
That's what's up.
I can't do nothing else but, give the credit to my Creator.
Right.
And I would tell any man, if you don't have your faith built up, get it built up. Because especially in marriage, you're gonna need it.
You say you're gonna need it, right?
You're gonna need it, and I would even give that advice to a woman.
Yeah, and that's my next question. So before you go to that, let me ask you this, because again, it's Women's History Month, but in order to contribute or give props to women, we have to always still acknowledge men, because we both coincide together. So I would ask you, what could women do more of, or change / contribute to make a marriage better? So not just men, but what can women do? What is something that you've seen either in your marriage or other marriages that you witnessed that you feel like women could do more of that helps contribute to the unity of a marriage?
Well, I would, know a man and a woman need to just play their part, and they need to know when they in their lane and when they're not in their lane. And just stay in your lane. And, respect your husband or man's lane, and respect your wife or woman's lane.
And how are these lanes defined? Are they specifically defined, or is it something that defines itself within that marriage? Like, how do you define the lanes of the woman and the man in a marriage?
Well, I defined it by just, simply just human anatomy or makeup or human nature.
Oh, really?
Never be a man. A man would never be a woman. So when I say defining it, we got a little girl, And if she having an issue that have to do with women anatomy, like say for instance she growing up, it's that time for her womanly stuff to start happening. My wife gonna understand that more so than me.
Yeah, true.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's not my lane.
But let me ask you this. So what about, for example, I grew up in a single father household. So what would you tell someone who has a single mother with boys or a son and single fathers that have girls or a daughter? What would you say to them? Because don't you think in those situations, those lines kind of cross a little bit? Or will you just deny them the right to be able to learn a little more or do as much as they could? Like, how would you say they should go about it then if the lines are defined and then you have this situation that's not normalized in the mother father being there together?
Well, what I would say to that is that's life. Number one, that's life.
Yes.
And sometimes that's how it go. Even with me having a household with both a mother and a father, I still didn't get everything. You know what I'm saying? It was things that I had to grow up and get out and learn. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes life is like that. Depending on the individual, your life is going to be a challenge in its own unique way for you anyway.
Right. So let's take the example that you use with a female in her, her monthly. If you're a father and you don't have a wife and you have a daughter that's about to start her monthly, so do you say to her, that's life and you just gonna have to learn on your own? Like, how would you go?
No.
Yeah. So how would you go about that situation? Healing is about self, walking a path of understanding and committing to harsh truths and realities that we learn along the way. Healing doesn't happen overnight. Join me on the Healing Channel, where we have open conversations and discussions about things that make us more in harmony with self, our deeper, unfiltered, and unaware self.
I mean, nowadays you got the internet.
So you would tell her to look at the internet, or would you look at it? Yeah.
Me myself.
Okay.
If I was in that situation, what I would do personally is I would probably have a woman friend to
that's
like
you.
Yes.
You
know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like you. I feel like it's better to have a village anyway.
Yes.
When you're dealing with
children. We're on the same page now, because that's what I knew that a little bit, or I thought I knew that, but I was trying to pull it out of you, because I know that's one of the conversations I had. And I was telling her that you, my brothers and other men in my life were ones that helped me when it came to my sons, because I know I don't know everything. And I know as much as I do know, there are going to be areas I may never know. And they will need to talk to a man themselves. And so, yes, I felt like, and I still feel like, a village is so important to the unity of marriage, of rearing children, having like a husband and wife where their parents are still, as long as they're still here, they're helpful, and maybe those families being able to come together. And so that family bond is growing through generations.
Right. I mean, you need insight from different people. Ain't none of, and I don't ever feel like I'm that smart where I can just know everything.
Right, of course.
I gain insight. I soak up from whoever I can soak up from.
Yes.
If somebody qualified to give me some information that's good info, now you got to be careful.
Right.
Because nowadays, there's a lot of bad info out there.
It is.
I mean, we oversaturated, with people who really give advice, and they ain't really got
they shouldn't be. Yes.
They ain't got the credentials. You will see them giving some advice and then doing something that's totally against what that advice they told you.
Right.
You need people that not only give that advice, but also live by that.
Yes. And will validate it. One of the things your wife used to do with me, before I joined the military and even while I was in, dealing with the military, she would give me advice or information, but she always followed it with, and look it up and make sure I'm right, or research it yourself. And that's one of the things that I really love, that it was like, don't just take my word as the word, but follow it up with your own research, and make sure you're sure what you're looking for, because my perspective may not be your perspective, or I may have given you information that I didn't really cover what you were asking. And so still do your own homework.
And the truth is something that can be, proven. You can prove the truth. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You can prove that.
Yes.
You ain't got to try to make it up. You ain't got to try to come up with something
right
to like try to make a point.
Right.
The truth is just the truth.
Yep. Let me ask you this.
Like it or not.
What is one of the biggest challenges you think there are in relationships? And I don't mean just intimate, relationships, but friendships, familyships. What do you think one of the biggest challenges is or are in relationships?
Wow, communication is up there at the top. Yeah, communication is up there at the top, because, I say that because, people, a lot of times me and you can read the same book and interpret it two different ways.
Yes.
So sometimes you might be telling somebody something and you might feel like, oh, they're taking it this way, and they could be taking it totally some other kind of way.
Yes.
So being able to communicate effectively, it's not an easy thing.
Right.
It could be hard depending on who you're dealing with and where they at on a maturity level, their capacity. It's just, you got to know who you're talking to, and kind of be aware of that, and know how they going to take it in, and that's tough.
Yep, that's true.
It's not easy.
Hard question. I got a hard question for you. Name 3 things you love about being you, being a man and being you. 3 things you love about it.
Wow. I don't know, sister.
3 things.
That is a tough one, because this is what God made me.
So one will be that you love you because God made you who you are.
That is. I guess that would be the top one, because this is what I was meant to be. Period. If I was meant to be something else, I'd be that.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, I was created to be this, and everything that come with it was already put in me. So what I love about it, that's a hard one for me. Yeah, because I'm not a real self-absorbed type of person.
But
you know what I mean?
But I know you love yourself. So
yeah, of course.
It's hard to find words to describe.
My confidence comes from what my Creator made me. That's where all my power comes from. Period.
Right.
This is what I am. So I just strive to be the best. That God created me to be. Period.
Well, let me say this about you, because we're coming to it. And you having a mom, sister-in-law's wife, as well as the men that you've had in your life. I think you have a great view of women. I appreciate how you've always respected me, even when society says men should know more of this or that. You never mansplain things to me. You listen. You kept honest and funny responses. I love that you're so laid back under pressure. You don't embarrass easily, and if you do, you're really good at having a poker face to not even show it. You're very patient and caring, and I love you. I do. And that's something that I do cherish. I have learned so much from your patience and your caring that it has spilled off into my life. And I do appreciate you coming onto my podcast today. I do. So thank you.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. So, I love you to death. You're one of the people in my life.
Are you married? If so, what have you done to make your marriage work? What can men do if you're a man, or women do if you're a woman, to make it work? How can we be better for each other and coexist in a more positive and uplifting environment? I see that it's hard for some to answer the question about 3 things they love about themselves. Not because they don't love themselves, but many people are so busy helping and thinking about others that they put themselves to the side. So answer me, what are 3 things you love about yourself, about being a man or a woman? You can share your response or any of your thoughts by commenting on my YouTube channel under this episode, or feel free to email me at forevercreationsllc@gmail.com. You can remain anonymous if you like. You may find your question or scenario on an episode of the Healing Channel. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel for exclusive content like this full interview, and where, if you leave feedback, you can get responses. Like and share. You never know, this may reach who it needs to. Until next time, I'll end it with something from my heart to yours. See you next Thursday for another edition of the Healing Channel, where healing is not a momentary process, it's a journey. This your girl Sag Mom. Peace. Communication is key. It opens. I said communication is key. It opens levels of intimacy that goes beyond the physical attraction. Souls can connect. The freedom to trust and be vulnerable is created in those safe spaces. We have the opportunity to learn and grow, to see beyond our perspectives and perceptions. Allow the words that need to hurt do its job, so we can heal past trauma without holding accountable the loving tongue that shattered that wall of self-reflect, and come out on the other side a better version of who we were. Still able to talk and listen, recover from misunderstandings, apologizing and being accountable while holding others above complacency unapologetically.